Hey you guys, it's Emma. Welcome. Today I'm somewhere new. I am in our garden. I came out here this evening and I just wanted to show you around and give you a little tour of what we have growing. It is June 10th today. Everything is planted except for a few things that I'll just continue to plant throughout the season, and things are growing so well. Every time I come back here, it's bigger than it was the time I left it before. This is actually at my in-laws' house. We live like 10 minutes down the road, and we're doing it here because they have the space for a garden. And so we thought this would be the perfect place. We're in a great big field here, nice and sunny, and we have so much planted. So let's get into the tour. All right, you guys, so here we are. Here is the outside of the garden. Let's get in there. So we have 4 garden beds here. So I'll just take you down each one of them. I'm gonna start on the back side here, so my lighting is better. Each of these beds are 4 feet wide and 26 feet long. So you can kind of see what we've got going on here. Here we have all of our pumpkins and watermelons and zucchini. So these ones right here are flat stacking white pumpkins and pumpkin pie pumpkins. And the idea is I'm gonna help train these to climb on this fence here on the side. Then we have a handful of spaghetti squash, one of my favorite squashes. So I'm really excited for those. Here we have a zucchini plant. This one I started just in the ground. The other ones I started indoors, and I probably didn't need to, but I did. They got nice and large before I even got them in the ground. Some more spaghetti squash. And then here are 2 more zucchini plants. It's just so cool to see how quickly these plants grow. This is a watermelon plant. This one it had gotten kind of like bee-headed when we planted it. The stem fell off, so it's actually doing pretty good coming back. Here we have another watermelon plant. Super excited about those. Clearly I've never grown them because I haven't ever grown anything before. Here's another watermelon, and we've got one more watermelon plant. And here is our jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. And then down here I have dill. So this dill, I got the plant at the store because I wanted to have some ready to harvest sooner. And then this dill, I started from seed out here in the garden. So you can see how that's going. It's been probably 2 weeks since I planted that. So I'm sure over here this will just get really bushy with dill by the end of the season. All right, so now I'm gonna show you down our 3rd bed, and this bed is all fresh cut flowers. So I'm really excited. My inspiration for my garden has come from my sister, who does almost exclusively fresh cut flowers, and they are so beautiful, and it just brings so much life into the house and into the garden in the summertime. So I'm really excited about this because I've never grown flowers before. I've really never grown anything before other than some tomatoes in a pot on my patio that didn't do very well. So this is just amazing to see all of this growing. So let me show you this bed. All right, so down on this part of the bed, this is going to be where I do all of our sunflowers. These will be a single stem sunflower, and so you'll cut them once and that's kind of all they'll do. And so you'll see I haven't planted in all of the holes yet because I'm gonna plant them over the next couple of weeks so that we have a continual harvest of them. And so these ones are doing really, really great so far, and you can kind of see the next ones are not too far behind them. And then these 3 right here, 1, 2, 3, are gonna be a branching sunflower variety, and so these ones will send up mini blooms, and you can kind of cut a lot of flowers from them. And so they needed a little more room. In these 4 stakes here, this is all of our dahlias. And so you can see them coming up. So I planted the tubers, and these are all just a big variety of them. So these will send up really beautiful blooms, large, big ones, and I'm just so excited for them. And so as they get bigger, we'll kind of wrap some twine around the post to just kind of keep them in their area, and that will be the support that we give those guys. Next on our flower bed is cosmos, and so that's these kind of frilly ones. You can see here I planted more than I started these by seed just in the garden. I direct sowed them, and you can see I have a few to thin out. I need to kind of see if I can maybe transplant one here, and then I think I transplanted a zinnia over here because I had one to move. So those are cosmos. I don't even know what colors I planted, just kind of a variety. So we'll just be surprised. So then the rest of this bed is a... Woo! Something's like hopping around under there. Whew. That's freaky. Okay, I have to remind myself I'm in nature. Things move and are unpredictable. All right, the rest of this bed is also fresh cut flowers. So this whole section here are my zinnias. You can see they're doing pretty good. We started these from seed directly in the garden. The next flower that we did was bachelor buttons. So that's these guys right here. I'll have to thin those out too. You can see a couple more than one came up for those ones, so they did really well. Oh, here we have a zinnia and a bachelor button. That's interesting. Now on the other side here we have calendula. So those guys did well too. I have them coming up everywhere. And a weed. Here is my one straw flower. So this does a really fun dried flower looking flower. That was the one I started that one inside and transplanted it, and I only had one that survived all of that. All right, we're gonna go on the other side here. Here is basil, and so this is a cinnamon basil variety. This is a great filler, my sister said. And then here we have lemon basil. So I have about 7 of those, 8 of those right here. Here, next to that, I have bells of Ireland that are coming up. So all of these ones over here, actually all of my flowers I did direct sowing except for this straw flower. So a lot of my flowers that I started by seed did not survive and make it, and so then I just changed my plans a little bit and decided to do whatever I could plant directly in the ground. And so these are the varieties that I have, and everything's doing really well. I have a few holes I think I need to fill in, but can't wait till this bed is full of beautiful flowers. All right, we have 2 more beds to show you. So this bed is mostly vegetables. So here you can see these are all of our onions. These are our yellow onions. So that goes down about half of this, or maybe a quarter of this bed. Then next to it, these guys coming up, these are gladiolas. They were a bulb. My mother-in-law had some of them, and I had exactly 30 in the bag, and I had exactly 30 holes burned. So those are going here. You can see sometimes I need to like pull the things up from under the fabric. They kind of can start to grow underneath the fabric. So We just have to adjust that there. Now in this little patch here, we have some more vegetables. So this is Brussels sprouts, and this is Brussels sprouts. So cool. Here is a little lavender plant. Now I have broccoli. Here's a cauliflower. Behind that broccoli is another broccoli and another cauliflower. All right, now let's come to the other side of this bed. So here we have cabbage. I'm gonna turn you around. All right, so on the back of this bed we have cabbage. Most of these, all of the non-purple ones were mine that I started. And then these purple cabbage I got from a plant store. But it's really fun to see them get so big, and I just can't wait till they have a little head of cabbage in there. It's gonna be super fun. So this is a lot of veggies. So it's kind of nice about this bed is everything will just kind of stay put until the end of the season when it's time to harvest them. So the last part of this bed are our potatoes, which is super fun. So we got 1 5-pound bag of potatoes, and it does look like some things aren't coming up, so I don't know if like they rotted underground or whatnot, but it does look like we have a pretty good amount of them that are coming up. And so they just make these really cute little bushes, which I actually didn't really know what to expect with planting potatoes. So these are our potatoes. We'll pull up the fabric when we are ready to harvest those. All right, let's head into our last row here. All right, I'm going to show you our last garden bed now. So in this is all of our trellising plants. So you can see our trellising system here. We did T-posts with like PVC connectors and conduit, and then we just strung some twine, tied it to the top there, and then I planted the string with each of the plants. So down this row, the whole row is onions, and these are red onions. Then on the end here, I added in a rosemary plant. I got this one from already started. I did not do that one myself. And then here we have all of our tomato plants. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, maybe 20 tomato plants this year. And I have been kind of pruning them at the bottom here, pulling off all of the suckers and just like training them to go up. So we're starting to kind of wrap them up our string, and as they get bigger I will kind of probably even tie them a little bit more securely. All of these tomato plants, other than these 2 bigger ones, were ones that I started from seed at home, and they had a few weeks where I thought they weren't going to make it, but they did. And I'm just so excited because tomato plants can be kind of expensive to buy. You can see we are already getting some flowers on those tomato plants, so we'll have some fruit very soon here, I think. So tomatoes kind of go right up to that almost halfway point. I'm going to show you what we have down here. So I'm using this space kind of along the edges for lower things. So I have some lettuce coming up here. You can kind of see it's at a few different stages of it. I didn't really know how exactly to sow this. You can see it gets a little bit more full here. So this is probably ready soon. I don't know. I've never grown lettuce. If you know, let me know in the comments if it's almost ready. Here I did a different variety of lettuce that is coming up. So that's cool. Planted that a little later. I sowed some parsley. I'm not sure if that's parsley or weeds. So we'll have to see how that keeps going. And I transplanted a little more basil. Here's another cinnamon basil and 2 more lemon basils. Here are our radishes. So after all of our tomato plants, which kind of end right here, then we have the start of our cucumbers and peppers. And I kind of just planted them intermixed. So I have a pepper there, and then I've got cucumbers here, and these guys are doing awesome. They're climbing up, sending out flowers. They just look great. Isn't that just so cute? Look at those little tendrils. Ah, so fun. Okay, so I think we're gonna have like way more cucumbers. Let me know what to do with. Those also did really well. So I started those indoors, planted them in the garden, transplanted them, and I had a ton of them. So I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cucumber plants. So oof, we're gonna have a lot of cucumbers. 10 maybe to do. We'll see how this guy does. He was a little stunted, so I'm not sure. I'm sure he'll make it. But so we got a few more cucumbers. See, like this, I was here yesterday and this guy was fine, and now he needs some support. There we go. Give him a little support. Here we have some basil, peppers, cucumber, another tomato plant. I must have found him later and planted him. And then here's some bell peppers, red bell peppers, another pepper, cucumber, another cucumber plant. Here's another pepper plant. Oh, this is a jalapeno. And I think this is also a jalapeno. So we have 2 jalapeno plants. Some more basil. And a sweet pepper. Down here I have done bush beans. Doesn't look like they all came up, and so I am probably gonna have to plant a few more of those. And then this space that's not filled is also gonna be for beans throughout the season. So I need to do a little bit more sowing of those seeds. Here is cilantro. So I've heard you can just like sow it kind of like a carpet, and then you'll just like chop it off when it's ready. But it is so cute. I just love to see it come up. So there's some cilantro. Again, I haven't planted the rest of that. And then the last thing in this bed is sugar snap peas, and these will also be able to trellis. And so these did really well. I planted them. I think I have to thin them. If you know how close I should thin them to, let me know in the comments. Haven't done this before. And again, I planted them I think as close as they said to, and then they did say to thin, but I don't remember to what. So these guys will trellis, and I just think they're so cool. What a cool plant. They got all these cool little tendrils. They're just very unique and beautiful. So we got a lot of sugar snap peas here to come up. Well, you guys, thanks for stopping by our garden. I was so excited to share this with you, show you how it's growing. It just gets bigger and bigger every time I come. So next time you see it, I'm sure it will have grown even more. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe if you're interested in anything related to, well, this garden, but also Montessori related content, motherhood content, homemaking content. That's kind of the things that I focus on here on my channel. I'd love to have you stick around, watch a few more videos. I'll make sure to link some of the other garden videos if you haven't seen this whole journey of how we've gotten to this point. Anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye.